What an episode. This was honestly one of the best episodes we've had in My Hero. And I'm glad that we got this episode done the way that they did. And honestly, I enjoyed it just from beginning to end. Last week's episode, or the last episode, I was really torn with Stain's death. And I've said this before on the other channel, but here I just want to let you guys know Stain is my favorite character in My Hero, and seeing him go was really hard, but not far behind was someone else that I also enjoyed, and that was Bakugo. I think Bakugo is one of the best characters in shonen anime. Like he gets a lot of flack, but at the same time, like this dude is just so badass. Truly one of the better characters in My Hero, and he's popular for a reason. So honestly, it's all well deserved. And in this episode, it cements that. Like he truly is among the best characters in this anime. Now, I know my opinion's subjective, everyone has their own, but that's just my thoughts. But let's just get into this, guys. I'm sorry, but we see this episode, and I love the unspoken communication between Bakugo and Izuku. Let's use his real name, and we see how both of these guys, work together here, and because of this, we see that Bakugo is able to get to All Might right on time. We saw him fading. He was literally about to become one of the few, real members inside of Deku, or Izuku, excuse me. For this episode, it's going to be Izuku. And we see that because of Bakugo saving him when he did, not only is All Might still alive and he's able to complete his promise, he doesn't want to go. I don't think he does. And we have this moment in this episode where All Might, he's on the verge of death, but he still remembers the words from Night Eye, and Night Eye tells him he's not done yet, essentially, and I love it, and it's thanks to Bakugo. And Bakugo had felt for a while that he was the one that ended All Might because of him saving him from the League of Villains. So he carried on that guilt from a long time. It really was something that stuck around with Bakugo much longer than it should have. And here, he feels like the debt has been paid in a sense. But it wasn't that, man. He saved him. He didn't end him. All Might's time was coming to an end anyway. So I love that he was able to kind of close that chapter in his life that was just bothering him for so long. And now, he's able to kind of start anew in a sense with him. And I love the moment that they have together. And then Edgeshot, of course, also approaching, coming out of Bakugo's body. And we see that he no longer has one. He no longer has a body to go to. He's just now basically a talking string. And he did what he had to, and he said that all he did was patch him up, that really it was his body that didn't quite give up. And so he basically was able to, get everything right, and it started his body back up. So that was nice. I thought that was really cool. But after that, Bakugo just changes. He changes the playing field. We see that he actually goes in and gives One for All a run for his money, and I think that was great. We see how he puts him in this corner basically, and the same thing that Shigaraki felt when Bakugo was up against him, he gets that same chills. But it's also because of the fact that as he's fighting, he's remembering his fight, and he's thinking of the second, and he actually starts wondering, how are these two similar? And it's just wild, the similarities, obviously it was done intentionally, but there are some similarities. And in fact, we'll see more of the past for all of them in the next episode. So that'll be interesting to see where all this hatred that he has kind of stems from. Because he felt like he lost his brother, and that's something that's wild to think about. But they went very different paths, but as we all know. But Bakugo, again, he pushes himself through, and he goes through the pain, and he talks about how fast he's going. And I love how everyone's cheering him on. I love it. Different people that we've seen either throughout the movies, throughout the series, cheering him on, remembering him for different things, but nonetheless still remembering him. And I also was I don't want to forget the parallel, or at least the connection of everyone's wind being blown in a way, and that connection of people that just is all rooting for the same thing. We see even Meryl, I believe the American reporter that went viral for her stance on what she was saying. So it's just a lot of moments here. But then I love how at the very end we have him being called out Kudo, when that's the second, and then he's like, "You idiot, I am Kachan Bakugo." And I was like, yeah. So I'm excited for the next episode. But that's it for me, guys, and I'll catch you all later.